Hello everyone, my YouTube channel is the Soul Sergeant. That's why I have the hat, that's why I have the glasses. But the Soul Sergeant, that's me. I like to go fishing as well. I'm gonna give a short tutorial on how to get a basic 10-foot plastic boat that you can buy at Bass Pro, Cabela's, Shields, Sportsman's, wherever they sell those things, and turn that little bass buggy into a premium fishing boat. Stay tuned. I'm going to be covering all the tools that are necessary to put this boat together. This is a very short tutorial. I'm not securing and fastening and gluing step by step every single part on this boat. I'll demonstrate how to do one part, and all the parts are identical in procedure. Here are the photos of some of the tools you'll need. Need some silicone, 100% weatherproof exterior. Need some liquid nails, something that grip, adhesive, construction adhesive. Need a sticky thing to stick down that hole once you cut the end of the tube, to pop it open. You need a gun to hold your glue. Scraping tool to scrape any excess after you glue things together. Need a nice drill. I use this one. I also have some drill bits. You'll find what drill bits you'll need for each anchor. Screw gun helps secure the screws going through the anchors. These are used to hold your cutting board. Naturally, you'll need a saw to cut that cutting board once it's secured with your clamps. You need a socket set and a wrench to secure your transducer to the bracket. Need wire cutters and a crimp to secure your wires. And here are the crimps in various packages and sizes. Need tape measure to measure your board before you cut it naturally, a straight edge, and some kind of device to make a mark, such as a pencil. The rag is two-purpose: to clean your hands, to clean the boat, and to clean silicone. I spray this on to clean the boat and the cutting board before I glue it. Radio's nice. Listen to some music while you're doing it. I use a table to put things on and to mount the cutting board before I cut it. Here are some anchors, and that's the size that I needed for my screws. Hammer is to hammer those anchors through the holes. Safety glasses to be worn while you're doing any kind of procedure when you're working with tools. I hope you're getting something out of this information. Feel free to like it and hit that subscription button. Now here's a list of the parts that I use for my particular boat. Well, first I had to buy the boat. This is the boat that I use. I needed a good battery. I'll explain that later. Here's a battery box. Not necessary, but I purchased one anyway. Pole holders. There's the cutting board that you can get anywhere. This is my electronics that I used. This is the gimbal, which my sonar device is secured to. The gimbal is secured to this mount, which mounts to the boat and to the gimbal. This is my side imaging, down imaging transducer. Here's a power cord that goes straight to the battery and to your transducer. I bought a quick connect so I could connect the power cord and the transducer cord into this quick connect so I can connect it quickly into the back of my sonar device, my electronics, my fish finder. You're going to need a trolling motor. It already comes with the power cord to connect to your battery. You know, on some videos they say you can use super tape. Well, I'm telling you right now, this doesn't work. Maybe 3M has some super good stuff, but if it has any thickness on it and kind of rubbery feeling, it won't work on plastic. That's for darn sure. Do not buy. This tape, you know, run along here and stick it to your boat, it will not hold. That's why I glue it. This isn't a training video, but you have seen, you know, these items pictured before. If this is a piece you're going to use, pull out your tape, mark it. If you can't read a pencil, get your blue marker, Mark it in blue. See how you can see the blue down here? Pencil, it's a little tougher. Get your square, line it up, draw your mark. Before you cut, get yourself some clamps. Clamp it down. Well, get your saw. Make sure it's laid flat. Start her up. Get your cord out of the way. Push your saw through. Naturally, before we mount anything to the boat, we want to clean it. Good rag. Let it dry, and also the material that we're going to attach to the boat, such as this cutting board material. And let it dry. Always attach the glue to the material that's going to attach to the boat. You don't want to put it in here because it would be maybe not wide enough, or you put too much over and your piece is smaller than your glue. Or this is how you don't do it. You see this little thin layer? That thin layer is not how you do it. This is how you do it. You see the difference? Nice and thick. Be liberal with that glue. After you have your glue on here, you have it set it on your boat exactly where you want it. Use clamps. Clamps to secure your piece to the boat, and let it sit at least 12 hours before you screw them in on each side. That's where the screws are going to go. You see the threads in the rod hole portion right in here, right around the edge? Make sure they're at the top so your rod holder will fit in there. I get the piece of tape, secure it to the bottom. Get my drill and a bit. This bit is going to be smaller than the one I use. Those are my pilot holes. I need to drill these holes to match my anchor size. Here's the anchor. Pull out a bit. I match it up to get almost the correct width. This happens to be a 1/4. Then I start drilling my holes. Make sure you don't go through the boat. I do that to all 4 of the holes. Do you see that debris in the hole? It's important to remove all the debris from the hole, or else your anchor will not fit in that hole. I've got all 4 anchor holes. Take my anchor, push it in as far as I can. Take the hammer and hammer it as flush as I can get it. I do this 4 times for each hole. Do not screw them all the way tight. Keep them a little loose. And then you can move the assembly around a little bit, and then you can secure them tight. Do that to all 4. It went from this to this. You might be wondering why I'm using anchors. Well, the cutting board is this thick. The boat is probably on this red piece of plastic, maybe double that thickness. And I'll show you in a moment. This is for demonstration purposes. I'm cutting through the cutting board, the white cutting board, and this red, let's say it's the thickness of the boat. Always clean the debris. See the red piece here? There's a portion right here that's kind of puffed out, and that's the way it's going to look in your boat on the inside. Here's a note. You see this anchor? It's smooth on this side. Do not use these anchors. Instead, use an anchor that has a lip on it. You see that lip? It's rounded. If not, when you go to push your screw down, the one without the rim will just fall right through your hole. Now what you're looking at, pretend this is under the boat. This is our cutting board. This is the thickness of the boat, and this is how our anchor is inside the boat now. So watch what happens when I put a screw into that anchor. Watch the anchor expand. The reason why it expands is for it not to pull back through, and our cutting board stays intact to the outside rim or to the exterior of the boat. Now this is why I spent so much time on this. You want to make sure, even if it's glued, your cutting board or any other materials on your boat, that they don't pop right back through, because sometimes glue can harden, sometimes silicone can harden or crack, and it'll just fall apart. With this anchor in there, it's going to be pretty darn hard to back it out or for your equipment fall off the boat. Reasoning behind all these cutting board plates that I made is because the thickness of the wall of your boat can't be more than an 1/8 inch thick. So that's the important part. If you're to mount any of your brackets, this bracket right to the thin lining of the boat, it's not going to hold at all. Granted, with this system in this small boat, you're not going to be traveling 20 miles an hour. I have a trolling motor on here, so everything is mounted. It's not going to wobble loose because it's screwed in so well with those anchors. But keep that in mind. You're not traveling 25 miles an hour. You're not in heavy waves or heavy wakes that's going to really rock the boat. I used 4 anchors as well to secure the white cutting board to the boat. However, To mount the ram mount, I only used pilot holes with the drill and got larger screws and screwed them directly to the white cutting board. On the other side of the boat, I actually have the white cutting board glued to the boat. No screws installed at all. And I will use this for a cutting board. To cut shrimp up, cut night crawlers, cut some bait fish up. When I'm done mounting everything, I take my silicone and I run a bead on top, on the sides, and underneath. From there, I just take my finger. Make sure it's tight along the sides, smooth on the top. If there's any overflow, you can just take a simple rag, wrap it around your finger, like so, and just get the edges, the overflow on the boat. I wouldn't put the boat in the water till the silicone was on there for at least 24 hours. But feel free to read your directions. I think the longer the better though. The same goes for my ram that holds my electronics, my sonar. Some people like to call it a fish finder. Hopefully I'm the one finding the fish.
I'm holding the boat up right now. You can see underneath how liberal the silicone is in there. Fill in all those holes.
What I'm showing you now is the rim to the boat, where they have a rivet there. These rivets are, sporadically placed. Look, we got 5 feet before we see another rivet. So you see the shiny part right in here? It's all shiny. Actually, what I did is I siliconed that to seal this little cap piece together from the top and the bottom. And here's the bottom of the boat. And I also siliconed underneath as well. You can't ever be too sure about water getting into something. Naturally, on the inside of the boat, there's a drain port as well. Same thing. See the shiny part? I silicone that as well. And in the back of the boat, that's where the plug is. As you can tell, again, I siliconed around that. See that little rubber piece there with the hole in it? You actually pull that whole rubber piece out and it'll drain water. In case you haven't heard, it's all fun and games until somebody loses a walleye.
Okay, we talked about mounting the transducer. This isn't actually a class on mounting the transducer. For any of you watching this, I'm sure you can grab a bolt,
grab a nut, and put the two together. I'm sure all of you know how to put a screw in. And to mount the actual transducer to the bracket, as you can see right here, 6 screws, and they have a little washer underneath. You just screw them in. So I'm not going to guide you through doing all this. Naturally, this releases it, which might have said earlier in another video. And then you fold it up when you're loading the boat and tighten these back down so it doesn't flop around on you like this. The same thing. Once you're putting it into the water, you extend it. Again, just tighten these two down, inside and outside, so it'll become nice and stiff. Your transducer is running along the edge of the boat, slightly below the boat, so the side imaging and the down imaging can actually work well. Tools to keep in your boat. Possibly a ratchet,
whatever size is needed to make sure that your transducer can be loose and be turned up towards your boat when you take it out of your boat and when you load it in your vehicle. Naturally, when you get back out on the water, put your transducer down into the water. Well, before you get it into the water, that is, you want to tighten those nuts right back up. I have a wrench for that and a ratchet. Nice to have a Phillips screwdriver in case one of the screws come loose around your boat, which I doubt. Everything's been silicone and everything's been anchored. And I use this tool. Again, you can use a ratchet set. This screws down the wiring on the posts to my battery as you put the boat in and pull the boat out. Those are all the tools I need when I go fishing. You know, there are different kind of batteries to run your trolling motor. They all work, but the important thing is how long are they going to last? How long will they hold their charge? How quick can they recharge? And what is the weight of these batteries? I have an AGM battery here with a quick disconnect so I can hook it up to my charger with ease. Once again, nobody's sponsoring me. I had to pay for all this stuff just like you did. Different kind of batteries that I know of is a liquid acid battery. Those need maintenance. They have these little tops, you pull them off, you have to add water to them. Snap the tops back on. This AGM is completely sealed battery. There is no maintenance except to keep it charged. Make sure you get a good quality charge. This is a group 34, and that decides the longevity of your battery while it's running. A group 27 is considered a minimum. This also has cranking apps to it, which I don't really need because I just use it as a trolling motor and not to start an engine and to run as a trolling motor. You're gonna pay a lot of money for these AGMs, over $200 for a sealed battery. For liquid acid, it's gonna weigh probably about 20 pounds more, and that's no joke, but you're gonna save money. You can get those any auto parts store as well for about $114, $120 some dollars. And of course, if you return your old battery in, you'll get a discount. If you want to go lithium, they're another third lighter, if not more. You're paying lots of money. We're talking $600 range. I bought a battery box. Do I really need it? No, not really. Comes with a strap. Take your battery, set it in there. Well, I bought a power cord. Right now I just have it, connected with this clamp. Red goes to red, black goes to black. When you're looking at this battery cover, see these little holes here? That is not where the wires run through. So don't cut those out. Those are vent holes, ventilation. Your wires will come out of here and come out of here. See how that's shaped? They'll come up from the battery right alongside here and come out. Snaps into place. Has a handle on each side. Always secure your battery. Make sure you run this, see your wires, under your wires, so they're not over here crimping them down. There you have it. Well, it doesn't matter to me what battery you buy or battery charger you buy, but here's some things to note. You should have a fuse on your connection. Quick connect is pretty nice. Selecting a battery tender that tells you when it's charged and when it's charging, a 12 volt and a 6 volt system, along with an AGM flooded battery and a lithium battery charger. Combination. You can select your mode. Here's my trolling motor, something to think about. You probably wouldn't need more than a 40 horse. You probably wouldn't need any more than a 40 pounds thrust, but I decided to go with a 50 pound thrust, and it's already been out on the water, and it will flat out fly. Then there's a digital reading, tells you right here on your battery level. You know, I understand your electronics might be different than mine. This is just a quick release from Humminbird. Naturally, there's no wires connected to it. I'll show you how to put those in. All you have to do is turn it upside down to the back plate and just unscrew 2 very small screws. Don't lose them. Again, this is from Humminbird. By the way, they're not sponsoring me. Or DeWalt, you've seen some of my tools. I'm getting sponsored by nobody. Bass Pro, nobody. This is just how to do it video. So naturally, these 2 plugs can go into the back of your sonar device. Plug this into one side, plug that into the other. But I decided, as I told you earlier, to get this quick release and quick connect. Here's the inside of it. There's holes in here. They match each cord. They only go in one way. And they just fall out the back here. You see the wire connects now? That's all it is. Before you put the lid on, there's these connector pieces. Pretty simple. They've already have fallen out. Little rod right here, little hole. One side, the other side. Put the top on. The wires coming out of the back. Flip it over. Put your screws in. You don't need a drill for this. Just hand screw both of them in. Do you see how each wire can individually connect? Instead of doing that, I told you about the quick release and quick connect. So all we're doing is taking this, placing it here, snapping it in. It's that easy. Little pressures, buttons on the sides, squeeze, pull, disconnect. You can get all your parts naturally on Humminbird website. Well people, this is called a gimbal. This is where my Humminbird fits in. Got little knobs screwed in, little knobs screwed out, take it out, put it in that yellow bag. What I'm gonna need to do, this is my ram mount that you saw on the boat earlier. You loosen this up, the ball pops out. This is the top, and this is the gimbal. There's preset holes in there, which makes it pretty darn convenient for you. Grab the screw, put it in there, grab the nut, secure it, do this times 4. Okay, we have all 4 on there. It can tighten at any angle. Get it just good enough so it doesn't pop out of there, because we're going to now mount this to the boat. You have to bring your ram over to the boat. Might have to loosen it up a bit, get it to fit on there, turn it whatever direction you'd like. Start tightening it down. It tightens both the top and the bottom piece. See, it's pretty firm right now. Now you can just move your electronics when you have your sonar up here. You can angle this down. When you're loading the boat, put it up. When we want to view our viewfinder, loosen it, turn it any which direction we want. Angle it back, angle it forward, tighten it up. There you have it.
Well, people, I vacuumed it out. I'm pretty much set up. It's sitting in the garage right now. I'm going to take it out on the water a little bit later. See the rod holders. I got a fishing net. This is set up for 2 persons. You can easily take out the other chair. There's one rod sticking out here on the pole holder. Got my sonar. Got my bag and tackle and all accessories underneath my seat. There's the battery. There's the oar. There's the trolling motor. Give you another view. You have the rod holder, another fishing pole just laying there. I got my knife by the cutting board. We got the anchor in there. And there's the fishing net again. Here is some bonus footage. I bought these items. Well, I put these in my boat. Why? Believe it or not, the boat does get water in it. You'd be surprised. Carry my lucky fishing hat. Always carry a knife. Pliers. Get them hooks out of the fish's mouth. Large running stringer for the big ones. These are just a bag of lures. Boxes of fishing tackle. Grabbers, lip grabbers, jaw grabbers. Various bait. Well, I can measure the fish, so I don't have to lie. And if you need maps. Now, I just recently invested on a larger bag. Holds more items. I'm gonna try it out. Can actually put my depth finder in here. And every single one of these tackle boxes. Got the knife. Got the pliers. Stringer, more fishing accessories, more bait, the grabber, lucky hat, and guess what? Put my rod holders in here as well. I only showed you 2 rod holders, but I can put all 4 in there. This thing's supposed to be a waterproof bag. Zip it up, grab and go. Naturally, you're seeing some things from Cabela's and Bass Pro. Well, the reason being is I got a Cabela's card and I use up those points. Matter of fact, when I bought that boat, I had nearly 200 points saved up. And they also give 5% military discount. Another item that might come in handy fits in this little bag here. So actually, this is an anchor. Has a rope, has a float, has a connect. Turn this. The legs pop out. Can't remember how much it cost. Maybe 35 bucks. That's something you might need, just an anchor in the boat. Gets a little windy, you want to be stationary when you fish, you don't want to drift. Heck, these are so small, you can put 2 of them in your boat. Fold back up, connect this, give it a little turn, locks it in place, ball up everything, stick it right back in the bag. There you have it, folks. Anchor in a bag. I hope you're getting something out of this information. Feel free to like it and hit that subscription button.